Gordon. Here we are. We're back. And so, Gordon, I mean, last 2 weeks ago, we sat there and talked about this whole idea of the kicker missing a kick, right? And
Yeah,
so,
the stress behind that one.
well, here's the thing: American football, it is now playoff time. And so, my
Ah,
Chicago Bears was playing their biggest enemy, the Green Bay Packers. Whoever
uh-huh.
won got to move to the next level of the playoffs. The kicker for the Green Bay Packer missed all three of his kicks.
Oh no, it must have
All
been
three of his
miserable.
kicks. Yes. And so the Bears were down at the fourth quarter, the last of the quarter, about 21-6. And they came back and won the game, all because the kicker
Amazing.
just missed all of the kicks.
He must have been. Oh, I can't imagine this week for him. Poor
Oh
guy.
my gosh, yes. And it was cold, it was windy, and you just have to know how to play in the lakefront right in Chicago. And he probably wasn't used to it, and it just did not go well.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That's an important story to know that
Yeah,
that we're always faced with such possible mishaps.
yeah. All right. So where are you coming back from here, Gordon?
Oh, I spent a week in Shenzhen in China, and then came back to Hong Kong to spend 4 days in Hong Kong, 3 days in Shenzhen. So it's really people go Singaporeans or many people go to Shenzhen, Hong Kong to do two things: one to eat, and two to shop.
Ah, okay, okay. So for you, a lot of times go shopping. Like, what do you buy? What do you enjoy buying these days?
I don't know. I mean, my wife loves it. She loves finding a bargain. So I think that's the thrill of shopping. And I just go there for things that I need to replace. So this time around, I needed to replace some polo tees. I needed to replace a jacket. I was looking for shoes, but I didn't find them. So there
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go.
yeah. And then food. What did you enjoy about the food? What kind of flavor did you enjoy over there?
Okay, so Chinese food's got many cuisines, and based on the different dialect groups, different districts,
Yeah.
and so as a result of that, we do want to try the different ways of doing it. And even for those that are like in my dialect, which is Teochew, I like to know what are some ways or delicacies in behind and these so-called food themes. So there we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Was there a favorite dish that you say, Tommy, this was a dish? These were a couple dishes I had that I just loved.
I'm too embarrassed to talk about it. So there's this sausage, it's a sausage. It's a Chinese sausage, and they air dry it. So and it's called in Cantonese it's called lap chong, and
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and so it's very tasty. And I love the goose liver version of that because it's got a
Ah.
little gaminess about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know it's very bad for my heart, but
See, the goose liver, I tried it. I didn't like it. I like the Chinese sausage firm and hard. And at
right.
the bakery, the Chinese bakery, they sell it in a bun, the Chinese sausage bun, which I love. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, there you go. So we have something in common.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Well, today, a lot of times, we're going to talk about the hidden beliefs that hold leaders back. And so here's what it starts off with: every leader hits a wall from time to time. Perhaps you're struggling to lead at scale, to motivate your team, persuade higher ups to give you the forces you need. In such situations, it could be tempting to focus on the external blockers, such as toxic workplace, employee attitudes. They're too young. They're not open minded. Managers just can't make decisions. However, as this author writes, I found that the biggest limiting factors for most of them lie within, which they call hidden blockers. All right,
Hmm,
so we're going to divide this article up into two parts. I'm going to throw some hidden blockers to you to get your thoughts on it. And then from that point on, let's talk about some of the solutions to address these hidden blockers.
great. Let's do that.
All right, first hidden blocker is I need to be involved. Talk to me about your definition that how you've seen that happen.
The way I think about this is, um, it's a combination of wanting control, being updated, and the fact that you just moved up probably, or you had a very ingrained situation where I need to know what's going on and I need to be involved. And I think that mindset kind of sets you back, or sets me back if I have that, from being able to trust and delegate.
Yeah. Gordon, let me ask you a blunt question, right? And
Mhm.
you living in Singapore, do you find, like I find sometimes in Asia, individuals in Asia are very detailed and they want to be involved in all the details. Is that true?
Yes. I think a large proportion. Uh, and the more detailed you want, the more controlled you become,
Yeah.
because you need to know that they are checked off.
Yeah. And I find a lot of times, even working with Asia, there are some people, whether it's in Hong Kong or different places or in Japan, Tokyo, they want to know step by step. And once you work on the plan, they want to be involved, but they don't like to deviate from the plan.
Yeah, agree. And perhaps I don't know. Maybe it's the way we're trained, the way we're brought up, the way we learned. I don't
Yeah.
know, STEM topics.
Another blocker is I need it done now. Thoughts?
Oh my gosh. We're in fast-paced Singapore, and we live in a place where it should have been done yesterday. Come on, man. When is
Yeah.
it done?
Or Gordon, I do find, yeah, maybe it's in Singapore where there's high achievement, high. I also find I need it done now by bosses who have no idea what they're doing because they've never done it. So I need it done now. Do you know what's involved? Do you know how hard it is? No, I just need it done now. They actually don't know the details behind it.
Yeah. So they think it's like magic, instant noodles.
Yeah. Here's another one. I know I'm right. What is that hidden blocker?
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so this comes from I feel like this comes from a place of being slightly arrogant, slightly condescending. You know, I am right. You're wrong. I know what I'm here. I got here because I know.
Yeah. And look, I mean, it takes a certain arrogance to understand, and especially if you lead that way. Where okay, I know this problem. I make the best decisions. All of those different things, and nobody wants to deal with it. But there are certain people who are literally arrogant enough where they really do believe some of these things.
I think so. Yeah, especially people who are technically strong, leaders who are technically strong. They come up and say, "Look, I've done it before. You tell me that I'm wrong. Come on."
Yeah.
That's what they feel. Yeah.
Gordon, the only time I do find that I do pay attention is when I see someone who started at the bottom, worked themselves all the way to the top, and when you say, "I know I'm right," I know you've got seen it and done it before. I
Yeah.
do respect.
No, so I like that point, because there's a little differentiation. Sometimes they are really right, uh,
Yeah,
but but the people who have this mental blocker is the one who doesn't know what's going on and say that I'm still right. So the ones that you describe usually are a little more compassionate, a little more
mhm,
empathetic,
yeah,
because they
yeah,
know
yeah,
how difficult it is.
yeah. I find a lot of times the guys who really do know that they're right have come up at the bottom. They understand how hard it is to really get
Yep.
up on top. They understand how it is to work with people who think that they know, but they really don't know. So then they really are more compassionate, like what you said.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Here's the other one. I can't make a mistake. These are more of the insecure ones.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is an offshoot of the one that is very detailed. And so they really need to say, I need to know everything. I can't make a wrong decision. I can't let go if I made a mistake.
Yeah. I actually work with the leader who never wants to make a decision. He wants to ask everyone their opinion over and over again. And so, in some sense, actually, if he makes a mistake, he could always say the team made it and he never is to blame.
Yes. And it's a little sad, I must say, that if this is your blocker, you really need to forgive yourself, perhaps.
Yeah. and to understand that all of us make mistakes. You have to make the
Exactly.
best decisions. The key thing actually isn't making mistakes. Can you pivot from those mistakes?
Yep, yep. Making mistakes is not the failure. The failure is being unable to get up from the failure.
Yeah. Now, if you made a mistake because you were lazy and careless, then that's a huge different thing. But if you made a mistake, an honest mistake, based upon the factors at hand, and you just made a wrong call, learn from it and move on.
Yeah, yeah. We all need to try things, right? Break
Yeah.
things to learn it from it.
If I can do it, so can you. What do you think
Oh
about that one?
my, oh my. This is the how come you're so stupid?
And what kind of person has that type of blocker, you think?
So I think they probably think that the world is such that if they're only idiots. If you can't do
Hmm.
it and I can do it, you must be an idiot. I don't know. I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's how
The
such
only
person
person that
thinks.
would disagree with that one, Gordon, is if I can do it, so can you. If it's a person who's very, very, very hardworking, he's not the
Hmm.
brightest in the person in the room. I can see that. You have always not gotten by with your talents, but you just
Hmm.
work
Hmm.
hard. And in their
Mm.
mind is, I've worked hard. If I can do it, I think. But then some people just aren't that wired that way.
Yeah, agree. No, I think these, if that's the blocker you have, maybe compassion needs to be a bit more
Mhm.
emphasized in the way
Yeah,
you treat people. Not everyone's
yeah,
as
totally.
skilled as you. Not everyone's as talented as you, perhaps.
And some people don't have, maybe you are the hardest working, maybe you can persevere. Some people don't have that in them. So be patient, continue to work with those guys.
Right. I mean, the few of us are wonderful multitaskers. I'm not.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And we see this with our kids, right? So, like my mental blocker, Gordon, I will probably say I learned this from my mom pretty well. I could push through anything and everything. It's not that hard.
Mm, mm-hmm,
And my mom taught it to me because she pushed us really hard. I
mm-hmm.
know when I work with my two daughters, they're just not wired that way. They're just not wired that way.
Yeah.
So if I push them hard, they're just going to collapse. I have to continue to
Mm-hmm.
push them and urge them, but I can't put my expectations on them.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think we just need to have that compassion.
Yeah. Hey, the other one is I can't say no. This is the people pleaser.
Oh boy, I think this one the team suffers. The leader can't say no to anything, and so as a result of it, he takes on everything, and then the team suffers because he's going to push
Yeah.
it down to someone else.
Yeah. 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 And in sometimes at a meeting, he can't say no to any requests, any ideas he can't say no to. And so some of your ideas you may have to not please people. You may have to make some people unhappy with you along the way.
Right. Agree. Agree. Agree.
Yeah. What about I don't belong here?
This one's difficult. I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's the environment I live in, but I don't kind of associate with this one too well. I don't belong here. It's just the belief that you don't fit in where you are at your level. I suppose there's a little bit of imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Here's a good example, Gordon. This is actually out of all of them, this is the one that I struggle with. If there is a blocker, this is the one I struggle with. Is sometimes I grew up in a poor immigrant family, and
Mm,
we had to work hard. I worked hard to get to high school. Did I go to the best university? I went to a pretty decent university, not the best. And so whenever I walk into a situation where you have people who come from Ivy League schools, who come from wealthy families, I sit there and says, "Wow, I don't think I belong here." And when you lead, it doesn't feel like you belong here. And so,
mm,
like,
mm,
here's another example. I had one friend who was from Singapore who is on the board, advisory board of a major university. And so
mhm.
when she walked into a room, she's Asian, younger. The rest of the room are all white American men. There's a temptation to feel like you don't belong.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't. Well, I guess I can understand that blocker because sometimes I do feel like okay, they're really smart people in the room. Maybe I shouldn't be leading them. Yeah, that kind of perhaps. But that
Gordon,
I feel is more like the previous ones.
Do you ever feel this way when you're golfing?
Oh, that one I've taken it easy because I'm a hacker.
Yeah, but I think a lot of times, like in Singapore, you don't deal with it because you get eaten alive if you think that. You're trained from when you're younger to just know and be excellent. And I would probably bet people in Singapore don't struggle with this very much.
Well, which is why I like this article because we may not be very conscious about these blockers, but actually internally we tell ourselves these one of these seven things, and I think that kind of hampers our leadership capacity.
Yeah. So now, how do we address these blockers? Here's the second portion that we're going to talk about is this whole idea, and we're going to talk about three examples. The first one being uncover. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah. So as we were talking, we came to the last one about I don't belong here, and I don't recognize that as a blocker for me. Perhaps it could be a blocker for me that perhaps I'm feeling a little, a little small. I feel like I don't belong here because maybe I'm not as smart as the room, or maybe I don't belong here because I'm of a different personality.
Yeah.
So understanding that or uncovering that, being aware of that is an important first step.
Yeah. It talks about one of the guys named Philip, a brilliant technology executive who was admired and relied upon for his expertise. But at the same time, his impatient, insensitive demeanor led him to be cited many times in 360-degree reviews, right? So,
Mhm.
Gordon, one of the things that he had to do, which is painful, he watched himself in recorded Zoom meeting, which included interruptions, dismissiveness, and condensation. In order to really uncover, you have to sit there and engage with the hard things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you need data, right? And in this case, it's life, understanding how you behave, and I think that really is it. So
Yeah,
uncovering that could be one way.
yeah.
Oh, this could be one way of uncovering it.
And you may have to ask different people in your organization or your company to say, oh, look, there's no judgment. I'm not going to argue. I'm not. What is the honest feedback that you have of my leadership? And you
Yeah,
just have to
yeah.
be able to take any of the questions you come up with.
Agree, agree. So I think this one, the one that you cited, it's more visible. It impacts the people around you. But of the seven, I can think of three or four which are more internal, and it can be seen as it. So that kind of different kinds of awareness. One's where people give you feedback of how you are, and the other one is something that kind of like a internal conversation in your mind.
Yeah. So there's the uncover part. You got to figure out, okay, what is it that I'm doing or not doing that's driving people crazy? Is it my
Hmm.
lack of decisiveness, which is making decisions hard? Am I too belligerent? Am I too demanding? But then the second part is the unpacking of it. And
Yes.
technically, you're a coach, you're a mentor. I can hire you to be a coach or mentor. But what are other ways that we can unpack it, you feel like?
I guess part of the uncovering is still discovering what you do or what you think, the mindsets. And here I like the fact that the author of this article describe quotes Carol Dweck, who talks about mindsets. And so sometimes we keep a mindset when we go into meetings. Sometimes we keep a mindset when we interact with people. And so to be able to unpack it, one has to change that mindset, change the belief about yourself, change the belief about how you work.
Yeah. And I would probably say not only change the mindset, but you need self reflection. You
Mhm.
have to be so self aware to the point where you're stopping yourself. Okay, why did I just do this in a meeting? Am I trying to get so and so's approval? Or why am I suddenly being so demanding? You have to be self aware to ask yourself what the hidden agendas are.
Exactly. And so part of unpacking is the first one, which is uncovering, and then being aware that as you behave, you uncover that mindset that holds you back. So that's a part of the unpacking
Yeah.
process, I think.
Another one I think a lot of times is if you can't say no to people, what is driving you? Are you just wanting people to approve everything that you're doing? You're a people pleaser. You love the praise. You love the positive reinforcement from your managers, from your subordinates, all of those different people. So that's something you have to be careful of as well too.
Agree. And you know, if you can't say no, sometimes it's because that's how you got to the top or to the position you are because you did
Yeah,
well when you didn't say
correct.
no.
The last one is this whole idea of unblocking. What does that mean? That's the action step. What does unblock mean?
Wow. So that's almost like changing behavior, changing the habits. To be more precise, it's changing the way you think about yourself or the way you do work or the way you treat people. And so I think unblocking is being able to identify the the thoughts that come before, that precede
Yeah.
your action, actually.
Because the answer isn't, all right, here's the blocker, here's my problem. And if you just go through life and says, I'm not going to do it again, it
Hmm.
just doesn't work. You're actually going to
Yeah.
have to replace it with something else to take its place.
Hmm.
Like, for
Hmm.
instance, all right, I'm not going to be more demanding. I'm not going to be more demanding. What are you going to do? You're going to be more demanding. So if you're not going to be more demanding, what are you going to do to replace it with it?
Yes, and so I like the little table in this article which says from hidden blockers to productive beliefs, and I think it's very helpful. Let me give you. You just quoted one. I need to be involved, and instead of saying I need to be involved, to say I can do anything, but I can't do everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the other one is I don't belong here. I belong wherever I am. I got to this point.
Exactly.
I belong where I am.
Yep, and the person who says I can't say no, I can't say no to some things, not no to everything. So
Yeah.
that's helpful.
Here's my favorite. I know I'm right. I understand this. My role is to help others find solutions, not to always give them the answers. Great. Maybe you do know the answers, but you got to create ownership. You got to create a team that owns it.
Exactly. And the one that that kind of resonates with me is I can't make a mistake. So my focus is excellence, not avoiding failure. So I think that's a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
subtle difference there.
Yeah, no, I love it. Love it.
Mhm.
Tuesdays with Gordon, the hidden beliefs that hold leaders back and how to leave them behind. I love this article. It was a very well written article.
Yes, and thank you for finding this article that we can talk about.
Yeah. Thoughts? Hey, what are you up to this week?
Hey, it's an interesting week. I'm back to normal week, so lots of things piling up. So I need to clear them.
Yeah. Gordon, we'll talk next week.
We'll talk next week.